Hi there, in today's video, I'm going to be doing an Etsy critique. Now, this is one of the many free critiques I do every single month to help out my Etsy community. So if you would like to sign up for a chance to win a free critique, you can find the link right below this video in the text box description. Now, if this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, consider subscribing and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you are the first one notified of any new videos I upload. So let's head over to my computer to see who is today's lucky winner. All right, so here we are, and today's lucky Etsy critique winner is a store called Vivek Contemporary. So congratulations on Vivek for winning. So even if you didn't win this critique, guys, make sure to stick around all the way to the end because everything that I'm about to talk about is applicable for any type of niche, no matter what you sell. So let's go ahead and get started. So for those of you that are watching for the first time, what I normally do on a critique is that I take a listing, I break it down into sections. I talk about product photography, I talk about Etsy SEO, I talk about your listing description, the curation of your store, your tags, branding, and much more. I break it down into sections. That way it's easy for you guys to kind of follow along and take notes. And if by the end of the video, you guys have any tips for Vivek, please leave them in the comment section. Or maybe you have additional questions for me, let me know and I'll make sure to answer all of your questions. So the listing that I'm doing an audit on today is this one right here. So the first thing I want to talk about is product photography. You guys probably know this already. When you sell on an e-commerce platform like Etsy, product photography is really important. You want to make sure that when people are browsing through the feed, your photo stands out and it entices them to want to click to learn more, right, about your product or service. Keep in mind that when people are looking at listings in the feed, this is your competitor. This is all around that photo, right? Is all of your competitors. So how can you take a photo of your product, like this beautiful oil painting, to make sure that it stands out in the feed and grabs people's attention? Because the main photo of your listing is the attention grabber. It's the photo that's going to make people want to stop to learn more about whatever you sell. So you want to make sure that that photo is cropped in a complimentary way. You want to make sure that it showcases the actual product 100%. You want to make sure it's the best photo possible that you could take. And you want to make sure that it stands out in the feed as well, that people are going to take notice of it. Because a bad photo or an okay photo could prevent you from getting sales, unfortunately, no matter how great your product is. So always make sure that your main photo, the attention grabber, is the best photo possible for whatever you promote on Etsy. Now, for instance, on his photo, it's a little hard to tell what exactly am I looking at unless I read the title, right? Do a lot of people read the title? Some do, some don't. Majority of people are going to click based on your photo. And this is based on a survey that Etsy did. And they said 90% of buyers said the reason why they purchased from a store was strictly because of the photo. That's a huge percentage, 90%. It wasn't because of the review. It wasn't because of pricing. It wasn't because of anything else or free shipping. It was strictly because of the photo. So what I will work on, Vivek, is making sure that your main photo for this particular product here, when people look at it, they know at first glance, oh, this is a painting. It's an oil painting. Maybe they won't know it's an oil painting, but to know at least that it's a painting that they're looking at and that they could potentially buy if they're interested. Now, when I click on it, you did a good job for having this image here. You have the second image where you're holding it. You have this one which you're showing it from a different angle. I would prefer for the actual image not to be cut off. And then you have this image which showcases it all. This is more of a zoom. What I think would be a better option is having this one as your main photo. The reason why I say that is because when I look at this, if I was a buyer looking at through the feed, it actually showcases the product a little bit better, that I know that I'm looking at some sort of oil painting. And by the way, I want to throw this in there. You're very talented. I can't draw for anything. So the fact that you could draw is very inspiring and it's beautiful work. You just have to be able to showcase it better so people could get enticed by it, click, and learn more about your product. Another thing that I will recommend is making sure that you use all 10 spots of your photos, all 10 spots. If this is your main store, that you're trying to replace your 9 to 5, you're trying to, take the store and scale it to the next level. What I recommend for everyone, not just for Vivek, is that if you only have 2 photos, 3 photos, make sure that you take the time to add 10 photos. Make sure that you take the time to add a video listing. All of these things will help, because the more people engage with your product, the more they spend looking at all the different photos, looking at the video, the higher the probability that they'll go ahead and read the listing description, and then from there, make an informed decision of whether they want to buy or not buy. But it does help adding more photos for sure. And you don't have to necessarily add all 10 photos of just your product. You could do like 7 pictures of your product. You could have your video of your product. And then you could do like a picture asking people, hey, don't forget to like this listing. You could have another image where you tell people, hey, join our email list, offer some sort of incentive, and start collecting emails. And then you will say, our email list, find the link in the listing description. And then you put the link in here. You could have another image of how you package this item, Vivek. Do you package it nicely so people know it's going to get there safe? And how do you do it? Take a picture of it, right? And show people how you package the package. Do you put a thank you card? Do you do anything special for the customer that maybe somebody's buying this as a gift for someone else? And when they see your packaging, they're like, oh, I love the packaging. I love that I'm able to add a thank you, a little special message for the person I'm sending this to. I want to buy from the store. So filling this up here will definitely help you keep people longer in your store, especially the people that click. And hopefully from there, they'll warm up, you'll start warming them up to your brand. They'll start looking at your other products. Another thing is you want to make sure is that you're collecting emails. I didn't see it in your store. I went around and checked. It's really important that you start doing email marketing. Email marketing is really beneficial in so many different ways, from getting emails to you from customers that already enjoy your products, that you could nurture and remarket additional products to them. In addition to that, majority of the people that come to your store, whether they came from Etsy SEO, whether they came from Google, or whether they came from, let's say, Instagram. What happens to the people that don't buy at that given moment, right? Because not every single person you drive or your keywords drive are gonna buy. I wish that was the case, right? I wish that if I drove 500 people per day to my store, I would get 500 sales. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Only a small percentage might buy. But how about the other people that didn't buy? How do you capture them? So you could capture them by asking them, hey, favorite this listing, because that's a easy call to action. They don't have to put an email. They don't have to do anything but click there. That's an easy one. And then whenever you have new products or new services, or you have a special, they get a free notification in their dashboard up here that says, this store has a new product, and that's free remarketing. In addition to that, when you're doing email marketing, you could also remarket to them on Facebook, Instagram, and anywhere else that you promote your products. So that's another great advantage of having an email list. So make sure that you start one. If you're interested in starting one and don't know who, I recommend an amazing company that have great customer service. You could find the link right below this video. There's a text box description, and there's a lot of resources in there for Etsy sellers. You could find the one that I say grow your email list with, and it has the link. So those will be my recommendations for your photos. Let's go ahead and jump now to your title, to the listing description, and to the Etsy SEO portion of this video. So for your title, I think you did a good job, because Etsy doesn't want us to do keyword stuffing, which was when you list, right, all of your keywords in your title. I think that it's easy to read. It's not confusing. If a customer read this title, they're not going to be like, what am I reading? What does it say? Oil painting like 10 times. It doesn't do that. So it's really easy to read. I think you did a good job. I do think that you need to add a couple more keywords in there. You want to make it user friendly for the customer, but don't forget to also optimize it for SEO. I'm not saying to do keyword stuffing. I'm just saying find a balance where you add more keywords in your title, but don't make it super hard to read that the customer gets turned off or they don't know what exactly they're buying. So you kind of want to find that balance between the two. And if this is your main keyword here, floral coastal oil painting, right? You want to make sure that the first 150 characters of your listing description or product description has that exact keyword in here. Why? Because that's an Etsy SEO best practice, and it's called the meta description. It's a snippet that is shown when people find your products on Google. So right now you have that as a keyword, floral coastal oil painting. Guys, I'm using eRank Pro to look at the tags and to do an analysis on his listing. But one thing that I noticed, Vivek, is that floral coastal oil painting, I don't believe you have that as a keyword. I don't see it as a keyword. So what that tells me is that you're not optimizing your listing for Etsy SEO the right way. And that's quite all right? Because that's the reason why you apply for a chance to win. So for anyone listening for Etsy SEO, you want to make sure that you include your focus keyword in the title, your focus keyword in your meta description, and that focus keyword also in your tag. So you want to have title and tag relevancy. That's really important for Etsy SEO. In addition to that, you want to make sure that the additional keywords are placed organically within the text in your product description. So you want to include all of your keywords within your listing description. That's another Etsy SEO best practice. I don't see that you have that. So you just make sure that you come back to your listings and you fix that, because that's going to give you more visibility. It's going to help you place in the search feed to place higher. Basically, right now, if your listings are not optimized for SEO, when people type in those keywords that you enter here, people are not going to find your listings because you never placed them correctly in your listing description. So therefore, how the algorithm works is that when you optimize your listing with the tags, that's how you tell them, hey, these are my tags that I want to rank for. And that's how they go ahead and put that listing on page 1 or on page 2 or on page 20 if it's not correctly done. So keep that in mind. You need to make sure that you're optimizing not only your title, not only your tags, but also your product description. That's where a lot of people don't know or they forget, right? I think you did a really great job for having a quick description of what you're selling. You have an overview of what they're buying, processing time. You have returns and cancellation, and then you have your trademark down here, or your copyright down here, excuse me. But I think you did a good job. I think that a lot of us forget sometimes. You have to make it what I call it. I didn't make this phrase. My actual mentor made this phrase, stupid easy, right? So basically, when you're putting stuff here, you have to make it so simple that when people are reading this, they have all the information, so they know how to order, they know what they're getting, they know about returns, they know about the shipping policy, they know how to get in contact with you. When they see all that information here, they feel more at ease from buying from your store. So I think for the most part, you have done a really good job. The only thing that's lacking is that you forgot to do your Etsy SEO, which is an easy fix for you. So let's go ahead and look at your keywords and talk about them, and then we'll come back to the actual store again. So here are his keywords. And one thing that I noticed is that you did a really good job of amplifying your reach, meaning a lot of these keywords are not repetitive. A lot of people will say, if they have a painting, they'll say something like floral painting art, floral art painting. And they keep repeating the same and the same and the same. Over time, that becomes redundant. And even Etsy recommends not to do that. So you did a really good job of having different variations of keywords that still describe what you sell. So you have from beach oil painting to coastal painting to floral landscape to impressionist art. So in that sense, you're thinking right the way that even Etsy recommends. The only issue with this is that a lot of these keywords don't have any monthly search volume here, with the exception of this one. And then the competition, majority of them are very competitive, meaning a lot of people are using that particular keyword. And you see how it here says that average search volume is really low. So it could be that maybe people are not searching for this particular product right now. You will need to do a little bit more of market research and figure out, okay, are my products evergreen products, like I could sell year round, or are my products more of seasonal products? So for instance, my wedding store is more seasonal. I get more sales from March to July, sometimes August, but July is my last highest month. So I know those months I'm on top of it. I'm running ads a little bit more, etc. But I know that December, I'm going to expect a low month. January, I'm going to expect a low month. I know that the data might change here as well. Now with COVID, it has been a whole different story as well, right? It has drastically dropped right here. So you have to think about your market. It doesn't mean, right? It doesn't mean that you cannot be successful with selling these products. It's just understanding, is your product seasonal or is your product evergreen? Is Etsy the right market for your products, right? As well. And also, if your product is, let's say you do keyword research and you find better keywords than these that have a monthly search volume of at least, in my recommendation, 500 or more, with a competition of 30,000 or less, like these here. If you find keywords that accurately describe what you sell, right? When people type in that search term, they come across your photo, they're like, that's exactly what I want. That accurately describes what you sell. So this is the painting that we're looking at. And you find keywords that have a high monthly search of 500 with a competition of 30,000 or less. Those are the type of keywords that you want so you can rank organically. And what you're going to do is when you have those keywords, you're going to go back to your listing and you're going to strategically add them to your title, to your product description, and your tags. What I would do is I would sit down like you did here. You did a really good job, but I would sit down, think about your product, and come up with 10 to 15 keywords that describes what you sell. Forget about trying to make them perfect. When you're brainstorming, you're just brainstorming. Then you go to tools, keyword tool. And when you go in this tool, you could put each keyword you came up with right here, do a quick search. And it's going to give you information for that keyword. It's going to give you additional keywords that are relevant to that keyword. And this is how you do keyword research with eRank. Obviously, you could use any program you want, any tool that you use, as long as you're using a tool to at least have a better idea if that keyword has some sort of search volume. Because right now, there's no search volume. So even if you optimize your listings correctly for Etsy SEO by putting them in the right spot, it really wouldn't do that much difference because these keywords don't have any traction. So you definitely need to do more research and find out what other keywords you could use, whether they're long tail keywords that have a little bit more traction than these that have no traffic. I mean, this one right here is the only one, but this one's very competitive. If we go to Etsy right now and we type in Nautica painting, there's 63,000 people. So it's not as bad as other niches that have like 1 million or over 100,000. But it's a very competitive keyword. So therefore, it's a lot harder to rank for. Not impossible, but a lot harder. So definitely do more keyword research and try to find keywords that have some traction. If you have a difficult time, this is for anyone listening, if you have a difficult time with your niche finding keywords on Etsy, it could be that this particular niche that you're trying to sell maybe doesn't sell as much on Etsy. It could be the season, but it doesn't mean you can't sell it. What you will need to do is use other alternative to drive traffic back to your store. So you will still optimize your listings the best way possible, and you will make educated guesses on which keywords you will use. But what that means is, when I say alternative, you will need to expand outside of Etsy. So email marketing, using Pinterest. I don't recommend trying to master everything because you will get overwhelmed, especially if this is new to you. So starting with Pinterest is a great platform to start driving traffically, organically back to your store. Email marketing is a must. You should start that as soon as you start your business, regardless of even if you don't have no followers, it doesn't matter. Just start it as soon as you open your store. And from there, you could kind of get some momentum. Once you master Pinterest, then Instagram, maybe creating a Facebook page, etc., and then going from there and building a solid brand. Because you do have, Vivek, a lot of beautiful products. You're very talented. People do love your products, as you can see here on the reviews. You just have to learn how to market yourself. Another thing I would recommend, Vivek, for you is doing Facebook ads. You could go, as long as you know who your target audience is and you have an idea of who, their favorite painters are, where they go to craft shows. You could run an ad targeting people that might also like your art based on what they like as well. And your ads will be shown to the right people, and hopefully they will click, come back to your store, engage with your brand, maybe sign up for your email list, and then you could remarket to them over and over and over until they buy from you. So those are different things that you could do. When I say remarketing, I mean you could email them, you could remarket them with an ad. So it's not necessarily emailing people, but just simply running an ad that is shown to a specific person. That's great advertising, because a lot of times a customer has to see your product 6-7 times, or they have to engage with your brand 6-7 times before they even buy from you. So if you're not remarketing, you're leaving a lot of money in the table. So keep that in mind. So let's go back to your store now that you know what to do and the things that you need to work on. I think you did a really good job with your banner. It's really pretty. It's really clean. I understand what your store is about. And one thing I like about your store is very niche. And many stores are not niche down. And it's just important to do that, and especially in the beginning, because you're trying to build an audience of customers, and you want to create products that are cater to a specific customer. You don't want to have your beautiful paintings and then you're selling keychains on the side, and then you're selling printables, and then you're selling a t-shirt. You want to make sure that you keep a niche down. The more niche, the easier it is to grow your audience and grow a solid brand online. The more audiences you have to cater to, it's a lot harder. And you did a really good job with that. You have your About Me section filled out. You have beautiful images in here. You have a picture of yourself smiling. So this is great. So yeah, I think I love this. A picture of you drawing. You could do pictures of yourself also. Like if you drew that beautiful one that we were just critiquing, you could add that as an Etsy photo as well for the top, for the 10 photos that you have to list. So keep that in mind. And then I wanted to check your Instagram. So for anyone out there that wants some additional tips on Instagram, I'm not an expert by any means, but definitely have learned a couple things here and there from having 74,000 subscribers. I think that, again, you're doing a really good job. You have your picture here. What I would do is that if this is I think you have a logo. Let's see. Oh, no, you have your picture. What I would do is work on getting a logo. for your company, because even though you are the artist, you're kind of like behind the scene, because your paintings are like your brand basically. It's really up to you how you want to work it out. I would use a logo here, and then this beautiful picture I will put it over here because it has your face and you're smiling and it's welcoming and it's really nice. And then what I would do is have your logo here so people could start remembering your brand. I think that you're doing a really good job here with your photos. What I would do is make sure that, don't treat your Instagram account like a billboard of everything that you sell. You want to do a little bit of everything. Like, you want to do a picture where you introduce yourself as the artist and you say who you are, especially when you start growing and you have new followers all the time. Just once a month, just do a quick picture of yourself, introducing who you are, what you do, thank you for following me, etc. Have a picture of your products, right? You have to sell your products, of course. But then have something else, educate people. Maybe do a video of you drawing something new, right? Maybe you're not selling, but you're kind of selling in a way, but without being so pushy about it, right? You create a video of yourself painting your beautiful paintings. That could be an example of something that you will post that is not just selling. So think about, what can you do? Maybe you could take a picture of your art studio, and that could be a picture behind the scenes. Here's my art studio. These are all the new things I'm working on, or these are all the things I'm thinking of working on. Let me know your opinion in the comments on what type of artwork do you think I should go for. Get people involved. That's how you grow your Instagram account, is building that rapport with other people. Great job for having Instagram highlights. Great job for using Instagram stories. And I would add a little bit more here. Why did you do this picture? Why is it so special to you? What type of products did you use? Just make it more informative. Make it a little bit longer. Experiment. Do reels also as well. I don't see you have any reels right now. Try reels. They do give you more reach. In my personal account right now, all I'm using is reels because I've been testing them out. And they've been making my account grow faster. And they've been helping me get more reach. And that's the reason why I have been sticking with them. But it's all about testing and testing until you find something. But always remember that, guys. It's okay to sell your products, but just try to educate, try to inspire, try to showcase your brand behind the scenes, etc. And then sell. And then repeat it again. Don't just have every picture of something that you're selling. For some accounts, it does work, depending on what you sell. For some other accounts, it's a lot harder to get the traction. So what I have found is easier to provide tons of value or videos or different things like that versus just having a billboard of every single thing that I sell. But let's go back to your store. So beautiful, beautiful work. These are the tips that I have for you today, Vivek. Guys, I'm trying to create a community where we all help each other out. So make sure that you leave any tips that you have for him in the comments below. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Until the next critique.